So we got Kenny Porter on the line, man, and obviously breaking news today. I'm not Dan. Keith Thurman shook the world up by vacating the WBC belt, and obviously boxing fans definitely want to hear your reaction to it.
I don't know if he necessarily vacated it as much as maybe they just told him, hey, we're tired of this, hold up here, and we need to do something. So I'm glad that they made a decision on that.
And how did you hear about it, or where were you when you heard about it? And I know your phone was probably going off. And
Well, actually, when I was in New York over the weekend, the conversation came to me from the people who are in control of those type of situations, and they told me that this was going to be something that was going to come out early this week. And of course, I was sworn to silence in the situation, but that was my first time, hearing about it over the weekend while I was in New York. And now, as I read it on the internet and see things actually materializing, my next thought process is, I need something official. I need something official.
Them ordering it doesn't make it official.
Say it again?
Them ordering it doesn't make it official? They've ordered it, correct? The WBC?
It's not official. It's not until actually either see something in writing and or the guy accepts the challenge. Because if you think about it, this was brought up last year with him and Sean having to fight for the interim title. And the kid pretended like he never heard it. Then, Sean approaches him again in Vegas, a month or two ago, and he says, "Oh, we can spar." But, this is nothing.
He did say that. This
is nothing new. When Sean beat Adrian Broner, and that 147-pound title was open, Sean should have been the one to fight for that title at that time.
Sure.
And they gave Danny a free walk in the park to fight for the title. But moving from 41, he had never had a fight at 47.
Yeah.
And so after that, when we saw his interview and he said, well, Sean Porter would be an easy fight for me. He's tailor-made for me. We jumped on a plane. We flew to New York. And the first thing he did was situation, would not deal with it, would not talk to us. And then his interviews after that, if you go back on the timeline, he said, I just moved to 47. Why everybody want to fight me?
Yeah, he did say that.
So, on my end right now, I seen him over the weekend. He wouldn't look me in the face. His dad wouldn't look me in the face. I didn't see them guys do one interview that said, yes, we are ready to accept that challenge. We're ready to fight for the WBC championship. So, until it's actually official, until I see something in writing and actually see these guys make it happen, I ain't going to believe it. And as a matter of fact, we're going to send them a letter, an official letter. I'll send them one official. I'll send the WBC one this week. I have my lawyer send it to them. Basically, it'll say, yes, we are ready and willing and able to fight Danny Garcia for the WBC championship, 147 pounds. I'll make sure it's
notarized. How challenging was it for you to hold your water and actually wait to get your opportunity at the WBC belt? Because you hear all the everyone saying, "Oh, why should you wait? There's Earl Spence out there. There's a WBO championship." Explain to everyone why it was essential that you guys held your water and actually wait for the WBC championship.
I really don't understand the fans. I really don't. I mean, honestly, I think all of these guys just mimic what they hear other people saying. They just repeat what they hear other people saying. If you've heard at least once, you've heard twice now, or maybe 1,000 times, that we're not rated by the IBF. So if we're not rated by the IBF, we cannot fight Errol Spence. So once they hear this interview, they're going to come right back and say, oh, you didn't want to fight Errol Spence. As soon as they hear this interview, listen, I'm sorry. I'm going to try to explain it to you again. Because we're not rated by the IBF, we cannot fight their champion. Okay? Legally, it's not allowed. So whoever the number 2, number 3, whoever the mandatories are, they could sue and stop the fight. So there's no way possible for us to fight Errol Spence at this time. Now, we have an opportunity right now to win the WBC championship, and after that's over, yeah, we could, possibly be discussing unification, but we can't look past what we got going on with the WBC championship first. We got to secure that. But, no, it wasn't hard to wait for something because we couldn't have done it anyway. There's no way we could have done it. So the fights that we've taken prior to this fight that we could possibly have coming up had to be WBC fights. And they were title eliminators. We couldn't have fought anyone in the IBF. There's no way possible because we weren't rated.
Talk about Danny Garcia as an opponent. Because it seems like Danny Garcia, because I remember that quote when he said, Sean Porter is tailor-made. So do you think he's looking past you as an opponent versus you guys preparing for him?
No, I think he was just talking shit. Because if he wasn't just talking shit, he would have taken the fight with Sean Porter a long time ago. There's no way possible you could tell me that you think somebody is, tailor-made for you. And in 3 years, they won't try this fight, and he hasn't taken it. Barbecue.
Now, obviously, what's your relationship with Angel Garcia? Because obviously you guys going to play probably the second major roles outside of the fighters. What's your relationship with Angel Garcia in your history, in y'all history?
I know those guys from the amateur. I've known Danny and his dad since Danny was young. We were in tournaments together, Olympic trials together. But they've kept their distance because they knew that there was going to be a fight they were going to have to take. They knew at some point in time this was going to have to happen.
What threat is Danny Garcia in the ring? Like, what do you see in his skill set that you may have to prepare for or will have to prepare for?
Well, at this point in time, I'd have to go back. I'd have to go and study the kid. But, he's a skillful fighter. He has an extensive amateur background. He's a world champion as a professional. Beyond that, the only thing that sticks out that I can even recall is, he's had some fights where he's come from behind and caught a guy like Khan or Matisse or whatever and won the fight. But then there's been other fights that I've seen of his that wasn't, the most impressive, But, I expect him to be the best Danny Garcia he's ever been when he gets an opportunity to fight us.
What was the first conversation like when you spoke to Sean? How was that conversation when you found out about Keith Thurman?
We haven't spoke about it.
Oh, you haven't? Oh, wow. Interesting. Now that he's relinquished the WBC belt, do you think all those injuries were fake, real, or?
You referring to Keith?
Yeah, Keith. I'm sorry, Keith. Yes.
Well, nobody can really tell one person how their body feels in comparison to how their body really feels. So for me to make that judgment would be wrong. But on the other hand, at some point in time, you got to make a decision based on, your activity. And I think that's what the WBC is doing now. Do I personally really believe that Keith was injured the first time he's supposed to fight Sean? No.
Mm-hmm.
I do not. Was his car in a car accident? No, it was not. How do I know? Because I know people that were involved with insurance at the highest level in Miami, and they are in control of everything that's going on in Florida. So if you're in a brand new car, it's coming across their desk. They're going to see it.
Mm-hmm.
That's how they decide on, what the rates are going to be on the insurance rates.
Sure.
By accidents and things like that. So, I called them up, and guess what? They were Keith Thurman fans. That's how I met them.
Oh, wow.
They were Keith Thurman fans, and they were always, saying little remarks to me about, when Keith and Sean fight that, but they had to admit that they could not find anything anywhere. No accident reports, no claims filed at all on a 2016 Mustang. So, it didn't happen.
So so it's been a lot of buffoonery on his part. Stalling.
What did you call it?
Buffoonery.
You know what? Whatever that guy got going on, whatever's going on in his head, whatever's going on in his mind, whatever's going on in, with him, only he really knows what that is. But, of course, because there's always a conversation about him and Sean fighting, there's always someone sending me a video, sending me a picture,
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know how much you know this, but my Commonwealth heavyweight champion, Leroy Thomas, is from Keith's gym.
Mm-hmm.
He was trained by Keith's trainer for his first 20 professional fights.
Oh, wow. Mm-hmm.
So he shows me a picture of Keith today, a video of Keith today with some other buddies of his in the gym, and Keith weighs about 180 pounds.
Wow.
Probably more.
Mm-hmm.
And when you have that type of stuff going on, it just becomes a situation where, injuries or anything else that might be causing you any type of problems, it's going to be twice that with the weight situation.
Sure. So, moving forward, when would camp start, and what will be an ideal date to actually set Danny Garcia and Sean Porter?
It broke up a little bit. Can you repeat that,
Yeah.
please?
When would camp actually start? Because I know you guys are always in pre-camp mode. So when would be an ideal date? Obviously, I believe people would assume it will be at Barclay. When would you assume that this fight may take place?
I don't have any information in regards to that at this time.
Mm-hmm.
Hope to hear something soon.
Mm-hmm.
I do know Danny had an open date for, what was it, July?
Mm-hmm.
And we got absolutely no problem being there in the same place at the same time as him.
And it's funny because I was up last night at like 1 a.m. and I follow all the fighters, and I saw Danny Garcia in the steam room, and I says, "Oh shit, Danny got a date," because ain't no fighter getting in the steam room without a date. And I says, "Oh shit." And I meant to send it to you last night, but I was like, you probably already know, and I didn't even send it to you. So I just left it open. But this fight answers a lot of questions, and it clears a lot of dust. It clears the pathway off in terms of, is Danny Garcia who he is at 147? It answers the question to everyone about, everyone's running from Earl Spence, and you and I have had many conversations about this. And how elated are you that this fight sets the table for everything to actually occur at 147?
Well, I don't get excited about nothing. Like I said, I need something official.
Uh-huh.
How the hell did we go from beating Berto in a title eliminator to fighting in another title eliminator and winning the silver championship of the WBC
mm-hmm.
to being dropped down to number 2 and the belt being vacated.
Yeah, you're right.
Right?
Uh-huh.
So, I'm not in control of that type of stuff, but it does at least set the bar there for Danny to say, hey, I'm going to have to fight this guy or I'm not going to fight this guy.
Mm-hmm. So all the onus is on Danny Garcia and his team.
Absolutely. And then to, go back to what you said, I digress, but the question you asked was when would camp start? Actually, this weekend, Sean and I will be traveling to the UK with my heavyweight. He'll be defending his championship on the David Haye Tony Bellew card.
Mm-hmm. Talk about that more. Yeah, talk about that more.
Leroy Thomas versus Joe Joyce.
Mm-hmm.
He's an up-and-coming prospect from the UK who they're pushing really fast. And we'll see, if he's ready for this type of competition. And we'll see if Leroy is ready to stop him from ascending so fast.
Mm-hmm.
But Sean will do a couple. I've already shot a couple of WhatsApp messages over to the UK. Mm-hmm. Sean will do at least 1, possibly 2 open workouts over there.
Oh, that's genius.
Start pushing.
That's smart.
Push some to push some publicity about this fight.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's important. That's actually a smart move. Open workouts over there.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Actually, if they hadn't made this announcement, we were going to go over and ask Kell Brook and Amir Khan, what you guys got going on this summer.
Mm-hmm. Well, that would be interesting. You and Amir Khan. That would be interesting. And obviously, I know you obviously want that Kell Brook rematch since off the rip. And you never, and people don't understand. I mean, it's hard. I'm interviewing you because I know the stories behind it, so it's difficult for me to phrase these questions without assuming I know the answer. But a lot of people don't know your situation with the IBF. They say, "Oh, he had this option to get the rematch. It was his choice not to fight for the for the IBF championship." And if you don't mind sharing with them again, why Kell Brook didn't get you and Kell Brook didn't get the Rumble for the second time, feel free.
They didn't want to fight Sean again. They had no interest in fighting Sean again. And obviously the IBF, I have absolutely no problem saying it. Obviously the IBF was right along with that because they dropped us from the top 25 8 weeks after they had the fight. Mm-hmm. So when they came out with their first rankings after Sean and Kell fought, Sean was dropped from the top 25.
And so you had to go across the street to the WBC. And talk about the differences between, like, if you... First you said it's illegal, but clarify how easy it is, or can you lose your spot in line if you were to go fight the number 8 guy at the WBA, go fight the number 7 guy at the WBO, or go fight the number 5 guy at the IBF, and you're number 1 in the WBC? Do you lose your spot at the WBC if you were to go work your way down to WBA? Or the
Well, we just lost our spot and we came off 2 wins and we won a title, the silver title. What do you think would happen if we had decided, we're going to go fight somebody over here with the IBF?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're right.
We might not be ready for the WBC anymore. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you're right, because you guys were the silver champion. I actually have a picture with the belt, and then we wake up about a month and a half ago, whatever it was, and now it's a vacant title. So yeah, I mean,
yeah,
you're right.
And they still have to answer that question to me, because I'm gonna need to know that. I'm gonna need to know that. I'm gonna need to know the answer to that, please. I'm gonna need you to tell me how it is that belt is vacant, but he has it at home. You gave it to him on television.
Yeah, I remember. Tell the fans Shaw's reaction with if you don't buy it. That was pretty funny.
Sean said, "Well, I got it at home on my mantle."
That was funny, man. I don't know. That
How
would.
the hell is it thinking?
Uh-huh. Yeah. Mm. Have you and Angel ever had any war of words? Because obviously it's looming with your personality, his personality. You guys, you've never taken a step back. Angel's never taken a step back. How excited are you to go to war of words with Angel Garcia in terms of promoting this fight?
Well, unless somebody knows something that I don't, weight classes matter, and he's not in my weight class.
Well, I can totally see y'all just promoting the shit out of this fight, man. I genuinely think this fight is great for boxing. I can't wait to cover it. Obviously, everybody knows who I'm rooting for in this fight, so it's hard for me to be unbiased in this situation. But man, good luck. I know camp. You guys are always in pre-camp, ready to fight. You guys are close to being on weight, and I'm glad y'all got this opportunity. I'm really glad y'all got this opportunity, and it shuts up all the fans. And I tried on my media outlets to try and make sense of this, but people always yelling and harping. Everybody's running, and I'm just really happy that you guys. More importantly, you guys had a plan, and you and I have been speaking about this plan for such a long time. And talk about planning. I mean, about life and planning, about how Sean Porter's career, you guys have a plan in terms of fighting, his exit plan, and boxing is not everything, but using boxing to prepare yourself for afterlife boxing and being financially free.
It's not the same thing, but there's definitely a correlation. I was
Mm-hmm.
the girl talking to me, and she said, I really want to go out. Can we go out this weekend?
Mm-hmm.
I said, yeah, we can go out. She says, promise me. And she holds her pinky out.
Mm-hmm.
And I looked at her, and I took my hand and put it on hers and pushed her hand down. I said, I don't make promises, I make plans.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
And so if we make a plan and we decide, you and I, or whoever it might be, that we're going to do this, and this is what we're going to do on this particular date, be at the same place and go out and have a good time. Well, we can make that same plan as far as fighting, but the things that we're not in control of, we can't control. We just have to do what we've always done.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what's going on in this particular situation with Sean. He was probably boxing 2 years. He wasn't boxing 2 years. He was less than 2 years, or right, maybe right at 2 years when he got caught up in a lawsuit and he was out of boxing for a year and a half. Mm-hmm. He wasn't allowed to box, so that took a year and a half off of his professional boxing career. But that was part of the, a big wake up call that, this may not work out the way you expect it to work out.
Sure.
You might plan this, but it may not work out that way. Mm-hmm. So we, started working on the things that he would be doing when he's done with boxing. Mm-hmm. And we created an exit strategy to walk away from boxing. And a big part of that is, making sure that he put his money in different places where it could grow, and he wouldn't just be out here spending and, just doing whatever he wants to do. So there's, situations and circumstances that I've created. I've heard that, Kenny needs to let Sean grow up. Well, you know what? I gave my son $1 million. I've done that more than once. What have you done for your son?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I've jumped out of planes with my son. I rode camels in the Sahara Desert with my son. What have you done with yours? I mean, I raised mine as a single father, and I made sure that he graduated from high school. He's never been arrested or been in any kind of trouble. What have you done for yours? I've been on double dates with mine. What have you done with yours? You know what I mean? I get all of this I see all this and I read all of this nonsense. But you know how many single fathers I met along the way when I was raising Sean? None. I didn't meet any. They weren't there. When I coached Pee Wee football, there were no single fathers out there on that football field. There was a lot of single mothers bringing me their kids saying, hey, will you coach my son? And all the years I worked with boxing. And all the little kids that came across that I worked with in boxing and young teenagers and young men, they all came from broken homes and they didn't have fathers.
Sure.
The point I'm making about that was and is, and I don't need nobody to tell me I'm doing a good job about my son, but don't tell me I'm doing a bad one when there was no one else there doing anything to the effect of what I do with mine. So, you know, he's got money put away he can't touch for 20 years. He got money put away he can't touch for 15 years. Money put away he can't touch for 10 years. And it's large amounts that will grow, you know. He's got property. And, you know, he's working on going into the media industry when he's done with boxing, you know. As far as the welterweight division is concerned, the top guys, the Keith Thurmans, the Errol Spencers, the Bud Crawfords, the Danny Garcias, we want to fight all of those guys. Win, lose, or draw. We want to fight all of them, you know. And after that, move on to the next phase of his life. And that's where we're at right now. We're in that position right now. If Daddy takes his fight to, you know, complete or not complete, but continue to add pieces to the puzzle of this plan. You know, having that opportunity to win this championship, and if he's successful in winning the championship, then have the opportunity to say, hey, Bud Crawford, Errol Spence, let's fight.
Yeah.
Let's fight. Because then that only leaves us two more guys that we haven't fought in the weight class.
Yep.
You know?
Well, people don't understand. I'll tell them this story. When we watched the fight at my business partner's house, was it last summer or something like that? It was, and mind you, we're all successful men. And you told me that story, and because you told me that story about how you handed your son, remember the $1 million? We were sitting in his kitchen in a $4 million house. We're all successful, and you tell me how you handed your son $1 million check, and that inspired me to make sure that my kids at 18, my son and my daughter, will be millionaires. Because I remember when you told me that, and I got goosebumps. I said, "Holy shit! I can do the same goddamn thing." And so, like, your common sense, your pragmatism, if that's a word, has spun over to the Hawthorne family as well, and a discipline and a desire to make sure that your sons and my son and my daughters are well taken care of. So at the end of the day, I mean, what you've done for your son has actually inspired the Hawthorne family, and you know that, but you know the boxing world don't know it, but you know what I mean. So
well, let me say this, and not just because I know you, but anyone in your situation that if I was able to look and see this situation, dude, you got like this beautiful painting. You got like the Mona Lisa of families. You know, got the beautiful wife, you got the beautiful children, you got the beautiful life, and you're preparing your children for a future, not just for a future that they can have and be prosperous in, but you're preparing them for, when you get here, I've already done these things for you.
Sure.
And it's already ready for you. All you have to do is continue with the positive things that I'm instilling in you. So, you know, I applaud you for what you've done with your family. As far as, you know, my son is concerned, you know, I asked him, I said, you know, I've done these things for you, and it's not about look at what I did. That's not it at all. It's about the reality of the situation. What are you going to do for your son one day, Sean? It's just a realistic question. It's just a realistic, you know, it's a keep it real question. What are you going to do for your son? And to say to me all the time, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
And then one day he runs up on me and he said, I got the answer. I said, the answer?
Mm-hmm.
He said, well, you always ask me, what I'm going to do for my son. I said, well, what you going to do? He said, I ain't going to have none. Things change. Things change.
Mm-hmm.
And the question that I ask him is, dude, you got, what are you going to do when you have a son? And what are you going to do to, at least meet the expectations that I presented to you so that your son is successful in life? Because he got a lot of work to do.
He sure does. Well,
that's a lot of work.
Yeah.
That's a lot of work. And I never looked at it like it was a job, Fred. I never looked at it like it was work. There was times the lights got cut off. There was times that there wasn't a lot of food to eat. There was times that we didn't, go to, out to dinner or this, that, and other. There was times we didn't have a car. There was times a lot of things weren't comfortable. But I never allowed my children to know that. I made sure they had it. I just didn't get it. You know what I mean? Yeah. I made sure that they had what they were supposed to have, and they never felt that way. So my thoughts are, if I did these things for you, what are you now going to do for yours? And you got a lot of work to do. Because I didn't really think about it, like I said, I never looked at it like it was work. But when I look back over it right now, that was a lot of work.
Sure.
And he's going to have to really roll up his sleeves and dedicate his entire life to someone else.
Yeah. How's it like being a grandfather?
I don't know yet. But when I know, I'll let you know about it.
Oh, okay.
I'll let you know.
Well, man, thank you for your time, man. I genuinely appreciate you. I know you on the wham, and you got Linroy in town. You guys sparring, working out, and you got a busy schedule coming up. But it's good to be busy, right?
Yeah. Very good to be busy because busy is my acumen for business, which is my acronym for businessman. So all of those things coming together right now. Having to be here with Linroy and turn right back around and go home just for one day and make sure that my other fighter that I have, a young lady that I just signed that's going to shake up the world of boxing, Shadeja Green from New Jersey, Patterson, New Jersey, who was a point guard at Old Dominion for 4 years and already has a degree, and I'm just the things that she can do, and I don't get excited about anything, but that girl get in the ring with men and just really, really shine and look good. It's unbelievable. So I know probably if we're able to, secure this fight with Daddy, she'll be having her professional debut on that card.
Wow.
So, yeah, which is huge because I see her being able to win a world title within a year.
And it'll be in her backyard. If it's not in Vegas, it'll be at Barclay. Ideally in the perfect. Yeah. So her pro debut will be in front of her friends and family, which is a dream come true.
Exactly. Yeah, it will be.
Now, so my last question. So Porter Promotions is open for business.
Oh, absolutely. I got another fighter I signed over in the UK, and he'll be coming over here real soon. I'll actually see him this week. And, I'm just very selective about who I work with. It's more of a character issue with me than it is a talent issue. I really don't care how fast you are or how hard you're hitting. If you don't have the character that goes along with, what my expectations are as a person, then, I prefer not to be involved with it. But, Shadeja Green, the young lady I was mentioning, she is a very high character, very intelligent, and a phenomenal athlete.
She's a thinker too.
I'm sorry?
She's a thinker. Thinking comes easy for her.
How did you know that?
Because I saw that when we went up there, when we went to New Jersey. The Fry said she thinks well. Like, thinking is like throwing a jab for her. Thinking is like putting her right foot in front of her left foot. You understand?
She's very smart, very intelligent, and I can see her just outthink people very quickly. You know, she's really smooth with it. Like, you know, whatever they might be doing, she'll just be 2 steps ahead of them. And that's you know, but you know, yeah, we looking to get a few more people on board and involved with what we do. For me, I like to have another heavyweight, and then constantly have the iron sharpening the iron with him and Leroy. And then also, you know, another welterweight to junior or middleweight with Sean, so that someone's coming along behind him and can learn from him.
Sure. You
know, but we'll see what happens.
Did I miss anything? Anything else?
You know, the IG, Porter High Performance, Porter and HY Performance, and then also the Facebook, Kenny Porter, and then Sean is everything, Showtime Sean P. And him and I will be going to the UK this week. He will actually
Yeah, go ahead. That's cool. Go ahead. Say that.
He'll actually be the second in the corner with me. So the father and son team that team up to fight will actually be teaming up to coach for this championship that we have, that Leroy's in this championship fight against Joe Joyce.
Wow, you might want to check something. You guys, father and son combo on commentary, father and son as trainer fighter, father son as lead trainer second in command. So, I mean, I don't know how many father son combinations have actually done that.
I don't know.
Yeah.
But, you know, that's great. You know, to have this opportunity to do that is great.
Well, thanks for your time.
Thank you, brother.
All right, appreciate you, King.
Bye.
All right.